Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming today. On behalf of the Miami VA healthcare system, let me be the first, but not the last today, to welcome you to the William Bill Kling VA Clinic. We have a number of speakers, and let me thank all of our friends, family, local leaders, congressional leaders for being here today. And just a reminder, at the end of the ceremony today, everyone is welcome back in here to join us in refreshments and to talk about the man that Bill Kling was. At this point, it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Gwen Finley.
Thank you. Good morning, afternoon. I come to this clinic in the morning, and so I'm used to saying good morning when I walk in here. I'm the Assistant Director of the Miami VA Healthcare System, and I would like to let you know that Mr. Russo, our director, who is unable to be here today, is also enjoying a family event. His niece is graduating from college, so he is unable to be here, but I am more than pleased to be here to speak to you about his dedication and how wonderful Bill Kling was. Dr. Phil Greenberg is also not here today, and many of you may know him as the Chief Medical Officer of this facility. But he actually is with us, if we could just watch the screen here.
Honorable Congressional Representatives, Stephen Kling and family, distinguished state, county, and city leaders, guests, and veterans. I'm so sorry to not be here today to celebrate the milestone renaming of the William Bill Kling VA Clinic. I'm at my godson nephew's graduation in Virginia Tech University. I want to deliver a few thoughts that are very personal to me about my blessed experiences with our late Bill Kling. As Chief Medical Officer, I became acquainted with Bill back in the Oakland Park days when he reached out to me to come and deliver monthly updates on the prolonged, complicated 13-year journey of the opening of the clinic in Sunrise. When we activated the clinic on September the 22nd in 2008, ironically Bill's birthday, I remember how special he felt that it fell on his birthday. Bill was a colleague, a friend, a confidant, and like a father to me over the past 8 years. He was always thinking of other veterans before taking the time to think of himself. I would have to be the one to occasionally tell him, as his primary care provider, to slow down and to take care of himself more. He would respond, yeah, and then magically redirect the conversation to a particular veteran's issue. He never let go of the important issues, how we remember the crosswalk on Commercial and the directional signs from the city to the clinic. He never let up. I know he is with us now in spirit, still asking me about these issues, which sadly still have not been resolved. Bill will always be a part of this great clinic, and having it named after him will be his greatest legacy for the countless years of giving to the entire veteran community of Broward County. I want to thank everyone for being a part of this memorable, joyous salute to one of Broward County's most acclaimed veterans.
Well, that pretty much wraps it up. I don't know that I have anything else I can tell you. We do welcome all of the people here, our congressional delegations and our local and county officials, as well as many members of Bill's family are here today, and we're so glad you're able to celebrate this. As I look across this crowd, I have memories of a time, probably 10 or 15 years ago, where I sat in a crowd just like this, watching a group of people honor a man by naming an armory for him, an armory that he worked tirelessly to have built in his hometown of Poplar Bluff, Missouri. This man was a state representative for the state of Missouri, and he, like Bill, fought hard and long to have things done. Bill was a man who, if a door closed, he just went to find another one that was open, and this man did the same until he finally got that armory built, and that armory was named in his behalf. And this tells us that sometimes one man, one single man, can make such a difference because of tireless efforts and for continuing to have the battle that's in front of him. Bill fought for veterans. That's what he wanted to do. He did it every day of his life. As an executive of the Miami VA healthcare system, I was able to spend time in this clinic in an office here. And I can remember the days when, you know, well, as an executive, your time is spent in front of a computer screen or a document in front of you. And I would become keenly aware that a person was standing at my door, and there would be Bill. Ever the consummate gentleman. He would not cross that threshold until he was invited. And he would come in to sit down. And he kind of ambled in, actually. Just came in and portrayed himself as just having been in the neighborhood. Bill Kling was never just in the neighborhood when he dropped by to see you. And so he would talk to me about the issues, many of which Dr. Greenberg spoke about, ways that we could help make this clinic a better place, ways that we could help our homeless population. He always had something to do, and in one of the notes that I saw in the news where a veteran stated, he was the one man that listened when no one else would. He, in fact, would listen for and try to do for one veteran, or for thousands of veterans. It didn't matter. If for him it was a cause. And so we're here today to celebrate naming this clinic for him. And I'm so honored to be here and so honored to be able to be a part of it, because that man back in Poplar Bluff who had the armory named for him, that was my father. Oh, wow. And I appreciate being able to take part of this celebration with you and honoring your father. Thank you.
You know, I have been to so many ceremonies like this, and oftentimes the administrator of the agency who participates, and generally it's an obligatory participation. But in this case, Gwen just gave a very heartfelt and personal tribute to Bill Kling. One, because it is so well deserved, and two, because Bill Kling was someone that insisted that you get to know him. It would not have been possible for someone in Gwen's position to not know Bill Kling and to have regular contact with him, whether it was relentless pursuit or ambling, both of which happened on a regular basis to all of us, and we can all tell our fantastic Bill Kling stories. I actually knew Bill for 23 years. Which is half my life. And first met him when I worked for my predecessor in the State House of Representatives, Peter Deutch, when his district office was right in front of Sunrise Lakes Phase 1. And I was responsible for Peter's legislative assistant responsibilities and taking care of his constituents and managing the wonderful senior citizen volunteers. And Bill was a regular visitor. And now, all the way up to before his passing, he was a regular visitor. And as Gwen mentioned, Bill would always sort of seem like he was just in the neighborhood. You stole part of my line there, but you couldn't have known it. It's okay. It's okay, because it really rang so true. Bill would just pop in to the district office and, seem like he was just stopping by to say hello. But that simply, and looking at all the friends of mine and his in the audience with the knowing smiles and head nods, it was never just an accident that Bill came by. He was always peddling something, and it was always to make sure that it improved the lives and the quality of life of veterans. It was just a privilege to know him. It was also a privilege to be able to be the primary sponsor of the legislation that names this clinic the William Bill Kling VA Clinic, and to have turned into the parking lot this afternoon and seen that monument sign, it just filled my heart, because Congressman Deutch and I worked closely together, got the support of the entire South Florida delegation. We cajoled our friend and colleague, the chair of the Veterans Affairs Committee, Jeff Miller, who fortunately for us is from Florida. That's why clout is important on both sides of the aisle, and thankfully Jeff was so willing to help us, and we were so appreciative. But I want to take you through some of Bill's life that you may not be familiar with. Bill was a member of our greatest generation, of course, and served as a radar technician for the Navy during World War II. His service to our nation was far from over, though, when he returned. In fact, it was just beginning. For our nation's veterans, Bill Kling was always front and center, one of the strongest advocates in the country for our dedicated soldiers. He was instrumental in helping generations of veterans as they returned to civilian life. As I mentioned, I had the privilege and the distinct privilege of working with Bill for 23 years, and am most of all proud to call him my friend. He served for the last 7 years as the chair of my Military Academy Nominations Board, where he helped the next generation of military servicemen and women step up to the plate and become military leaders in their own right. And at the end of the day, that was one of the things that he was the most proud of. He was so proud to not only think about those who had already served, but to be nurturing the next generation of military leaders so that America could remain as strong and as vibrant as we were during his generation. Some other highlights of Bill's accomplishments: he was pivotal in bringing the Alexander Sandy Ninninger Veterans Nursing Home to Pembroke Pines in 2001, and worked with other veterans to create the South Florida National Cemetery in Palm Beach in 2007. Another one of Bill's greatest accomplishments and lasting legacies was ensuring that veterans would have easy access to quality medical care here at the VA clinic. The history of the creation of this clinic, and it was 13 years in the making, is that when the building in Oakland Park began to deteriorate, which was a building that was fought for even to locate in Oakland Park, because before the creation of that facility, most folks had to go all the way down to Miami, and that was a real hike, especially for our aging veterans. But Bill kept a smile on his face as we went through the process of fighting for this clinic, and he was determined to overcome every obstacle, because that's just how Bill operated. No was not in Bill's vocabulary. In 2008, this 98,000 square foot clinic opened, and as you heard, fittingly on his birthday. I think it's fair to say that without Bill Kling, this wonderful center that serves thousands of our veterans each year would definitely not exist. That's why last fall, Congressman Deutch and I were honored to file legislation to rename the Broward Outpatient Clinic as the William Bill Kling VA Clinic, to ensure that Bill's legacy lives on as future generations of veterans come back here upon their retirement. We're proud to report that we had the support of the entire Florida congressional delegation behind this bill, and with the renaming of this VA clinic, even those who never knew Bill personally will be able to appreciate his contributions as a tireless advocate for all the veterans in our community. So thank you so much. Thank you to his family. Thank you for especially giving your family's time with Bill, because we know how much sacrifice he made. He was, I would bet that after he retired, he probably spent more time on his volunteer activities than he did on his real job. So thank you so much. The Kling family is so fortunate to have been led by him, and we are now fortunate to benefit from the legacy that he leaves here today. And it's my privilege to introduce my colleague and friend,
Bill Kling, each and every day, by carrying forth his mission of ensuring that no veteran of America's armed forces ever becomes a forgotten hero. And I can't think of a better way to honor Bill Kling's legacy than the reason that brings us here together today. I am confident, supremely confident, that his contributions will live on in every veteran cared for at this outpatient clinic that now bears his name. And I am so grateful for the opportunity to share in this day with all of you. Thanks very much, and it is now my honor to turn this back to Dr. Finley.
We just, presented a letter from Congresswoman Lois Frankel's office, and she sent this, and I'm able to be here, so I would like to read that. Dear friends, thank you for this opportunity to celebrate the extraordinary life of Bill Kling, a treasured member of the South Florida community and a tireless advocate for veterans. I wish I could join you today to rename the Sunrise VA Clinic after Bill, as I can think of no better way to honor his memory. In fact, it is thanks to Bill that the brave men and women who have served our country have access to this particular facility. A naval veteran of World War II himself, Bill relentlessly fought for veteran causes, including improved health care. Additionally, Bill was a true friend to everyone in his community, including me, as he was willing to drop everything to assist someone in need. His passing represents a real loss for South Florida. Still, I am grateful to have known Bill and remain inspired by his passion and dedication to the people and causes he cared about. May Bill's memory continue to motivate us as we work to provide our veterans the service they so rightfully deserve. Always, Lois Frankel. And now, it is my privilege to turn this over to his son, Steve.
Thank you. It's great to see such a big turnout today. And Debbie, I found that rifle that you gave my dad. How did we ever win the war with that thing? How did you ever lift that thing up? Going to try to put it to good use. Maybe you and I can go target shooting one day. First of all, it's an honor to be here today. Not just because it's a day we are honoring my dad by renaming the clinic, but it's also my dad's wildest dreams. I don't think he ever imagined an honor as prestigious as this. On August 12, 2012, the veterans and politicians of this nation lost a friend. This man who believed that it doesn't take money and power to move the world. It takes dedication, perseverance, and a strong belief that this building is a standing monument to the type of his dedication that he gave to his country. He believed there was no better investment than the well-being of our nation's veterans. Thank you. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. These are the words we can all aspire to. I know my father lived by these words every day of his life. You see, heroes don't always wear fancy uniforms and pull up in white horses. Sometimes they pull up in Hondas, wearing sneakers and jeans, given the time and the encouragement to move mountains for so many that needed a voice. And thanks today to Congressman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, a long name, and Congressman Ted Deutch, who both had a close relationship with my dad and appreciated what he was all about, had given their valuable time to have this clinic renamed in his honor. You know, I've often said, it's how you celebrate and measure a person's life from the time he is born until the day he leaves this earth. And I believe it's that little dash between the years we all see on people who are eulogized. For Bill Kling, there are so many memories and so many accomplishments that fit into that dash. Yet this little dash is a symbol of all his accomplishments throughout his lifetime. This building is not very tall, but with Bill Kling's name on it, it will reach the heavens like an eternal light. He will be able to see his legacy live on. And in closing, my dad, when he passed away, he was 84. But he gave half of his life to helping others. And I think by the room today and by the turnout, I think we all know that he left us with some great memories and a great legacy. Thank you very much.